David Cameron has allegedly stopped Nick Clegg from appearing in a head-to-head TV election debate with Ed Miliband, as he doesn't want to be the only one who's absent. While Ed Miliband is still calling for Cameron to take him on, one party has not been invited to discuss its views in the run-up to the election, Respect. Joining me now is its MP and leader, George Galloway. George, welcome to Going Underground. Welcome back. Now, you have a show on RT, so let's keep this as impartial,
totally
Ofcom impartial as possible. Yes. What exactly is Respect offering that's different to some of the other parties, Tusk and Left Unity, the Greens?
Well, apart from, in the latter case, very much higher profile and track record of winning elections. If I'm re-elected in Bradford, that will be the third Respect victory over Labour in a parliamentary poll. No one in the whole history of the left in Britain has ever done that, or even done it twice. So our profile, our standing, our ability to win elections, and to use the spaces and platforms that we thereby secure to good effect. I don't think even my worst enemy would say that I haven't made good use of the time that I get, of the platforms that I get, as a result of winning elections. So that's why we are in the democratic race, why we fought hard right up to the point of judicial review to get on the prime ministerial debates. You mentioned the Green Party, they have one MP, so do we. She's been in 5 years, I've been in almost 30 years. So if the Green Party could get on the prime ministerial debates, we figured that we should too.
You're not on the debate, though?
No, because we can't afford the judicial review. It would be tens of thousands of pounds. But we fought it right up to that point, and credibly, with the support of big figures in the broadcasting field, because the logic was unassailable.
But it didn't work. Okay, well, on the success argument, you have been successful then. Isn't it that very success that damages progressive forces in constituencies up and down the country, because you'll be splitting the progressive vote? George Monbiot left Respect, as far as I understand it, because you were standing candidates against the Greens.
Well, we tried actually to get an electoral agreement with the Greens at that very time. It wasn't us that turned it down, but them. So of course we're ready where someone has a better chance than us to step aside. But that doesn't happen often. I mean, you mentioned Tusk. The Elvis Loves Pets party defeated Tusk into bottom place in a recent local authority by-election. So
sure, but they would defend themselves. They would defend themselves by saying Syriza was around at the same kind of level 4 years ago before it defeated the Labour Party.
I'm not sure
times are changing.
I'm not sure the Elvis Loves Pets party would ever have defeated Syriza, but anyway, each to their own. We have different political ideas from these other organizations, and above all, we have a different approach.
Okay, but then we know that parties of the left are a bit like the Elvis Party. History, a legacy of splits and division right across the decades in this country. And you have had huge splits going on in Respect, councillors resigning. How can voters think that when they're voting Respect there's not going to be a mass of splits and division? Well,
of course, as we're on Russian television, one can quote Lenin, who talked about the narcissism of the small difference. It's true that on the left, small differences are magnified to the point of division, and that's a historical trait. Being on the left is a vociferous business. Everything, every nuance, every dot and comma matters to you. People on the left tend not to be broad brush political figures. But we have won more than 25, I think it's 27, in fact, local government elections. I've been elected to Parliament as a Respect candidate twice, and I'm confident that I will be in just a few weeks' time. So, as I say, there's absolutely no one can touch that or even come remotely close to it.
Another history of the left is covert monitoring by institutions. We know the Green Party has been infiltrated by agent security services. How do you at Respect make sure that the same thing isn't going to happen to your party?
Must be a boring job monitoring the Green Party. That would certainly be the equivalent of being...
Well, actually, it was quite a serious case
Bator and the famous power station in Siberia. I think all progressive organisations have been infiltrated at one time or another, including, I have no doubt, us. And some of the splits and divisions that you refer to may be connected to that. But the only thing you can do, to quote Bob Dylan, is keep on keeping on.
You might think I thought that was the Redskins. No, that was afterwards.
Long
okay, well, look,
that.
the media very much sees you as personifying the Respect Party. They don't appear to like you that much. Maybe they don't need infiltration. Is it impossible for a fourth party with genuine progressive views to get their message across in the media in this general election?
In the media as was, of course, we have a new media now, and we're sitting on it. And it's attracting viewers by the million from the old media. I myself present no less than 3 television programs a week.
Okay, but their audience figures are not like it's not Paxman telling you to be ashamed of your victory in Bradford, or Dimbleby getting
true.
a bunch of
That's
people.
True, but the balance is changing.
Your position on Scotland. Do you think north of the border respect will have been damaged by the fact that you supported the Tories and the Labour Party?
Well, I wouldn't put it quite that way. If by that you mean I took the same side as most Scottish people, I'm not sure that it follows logically. The Tories are a part of Scotland, a very small part. I didn't share any platforms with them, said that I wouldn't. But I make no apology for being with Labour. I was with Labour for almost 40 years before I was expelled. I'm still a Labour man at heart. And Labour represents the working class idea that it's class rather than nationality that matters.
What are relations like between Ed Miliband's Labour Party and you and the Respect Party? I've heard it's getting pretty angry in Bradford with some Labour campaigners campaigning for respect.
Yes, there are a lot of divisions, and because we haunt Labour as a ghost of what they used to be, standing for what they used to stand for and standing for the people they have abandoned in many respects, then that's a recipe for bitterness. Back to this narcissism of the small difference. We are the real Labour Party, that's what we say. We're the Labour Party as was before Tony Blair and Peter Mandelson and Gordon Brown and Alistair Campbell hijacked it and flew it to destruction as a Labour Party. It was still able to win elections and so on, but not as a Labour Party. So that's what happens. There are bitter fights. People defect to us. Just had a very prominent Labour figure in Bradford defect to us. This process will continue after the election. If Ed Miliband gets in, and he's in want of 1 vote as a majority, and I'm
I don't think it'll be that
one
difference.
vote. Well, I'm praying nightly that he requires 1 vote. I'm that vote, and I'm open to a negotiation every night at 7 p.m. And I have a long list of foreign, national, and domestic, local matters that I'm prepared to trade in return for my 1 vote.
But will you trade? I mean, presumably, red lines, maybe Parliament moving to Leeds, which I think is a Respect policy, he'll be easy with that. But on Trident and on, finally, the economy.
The economy
does Respect
is,
see the City of London having to be completely transformed if a Respect party was in coalition?
Well, we will stand in the London mayoral elections in 2016, and that will be the first of our policy platforms to change the way that the City of London operates within London as a whole. No, of course, there are big differences between me and Ed Miliband on the economy, on things like Russia, things like Israel, Palestine, Trident, and many, many things. But you can only have the best government of those that are available. And any Labour government is going to be better than any Tory government for the overwhelmingly poor and working class people that I represent.
George Galloway, thank you.
Pleasure.